So, what is image blending? Image blending is it's really a process of combining two or three different images to actually make something unique. And in this example, I've created some uh, image different images that I meshed together. So this design was done by me some months ago. Yes, and we could also call this particular type of image blending double exposure. As you can see, we have different images meshed together. Yeah, as you can see, the look and the feel. You could actually tell the story from this as well. And this is one of my favorites. Yeah, really awesome image blending technique. So if you stay tuned to the end of this video and to the end of this course, you will learn how to actually make something beautiful as this. And I'll also show you a few examples like this. Wow, this is awesome. Um, these are some of the things that when you see, you just it just grabs your attention. And this is also another type of image blending where we have an animal combined with some loaves of bread. Really awesome example. And this is also another example where we have this is more like a tip and bread meshed together. So this is something that anyone can do. This is something you can do and you will do. So stay tuned to the end of this course and let's make this magic together. I'll see you in the next lesson. Alright guys, welcome back, and in this lesson we're talking extensively about shadows and light source. Well, shadows especially it's been used by a lot of people, but then I've really seen shadows being messed up pretty bad because of the inability to use it effectively. Now, most times why we are not able to achieve what we want with shadows is because we don't really understand shadows and how it is formed. Now, this is an image that explains how shadow is formed, and it's very simple. Now, when light is cast, okay, I'm going to make this easy for us. When light is casted on an object, the shadow is formed in the opposite direction. Now, this is the light source, and this is the object here. Uh, this is the object. Now, when this is cast directly to this object, the shadow is automatically formed in the opposite direction. So, which means if the light source were to be here and it was casted on this object, it means the shadow will be formed here, right? Now, having this understanding, we can actually make the best out of shadows. We can make the best out of shadows, and we would understand it efficiently and effectively. Now, this is another example that I want to show you. Now, in this example, the light source is coming from behind, from this direction. The light source is coming from that direction, and as I said in the first example, when the light source is coming from the direction, the shadow is casted in the opposite direction, and which is what we have here. So this is the shadows casted in the opposite direction. So just imagine, just try and think of a time where when you were with a torch, and when you pointed a torch probably on someone, and then the shadow was formed. Did you notice that the shadow was formed in the opposite direction of that person? Exactly. That's how shadow is formed. And this is another example. Now, I said we're talking about light source and shadows. Now, this is the light source. This is where the light is coming from, and it's casting on this image, on this object. Automatically, when the light is casting on this object, this particular area absorbs the light. It absorbs the light, and that's why we have it segmented into highlights, light area, and midtone area. So this is the area affected by the light. Now, this area Now let me change my okay. Now this area is not affected by the light. This area is not affected by the light. So it therefore means that this area remains dark and this area that receives the light directly remains bright. So what happens in this case? What happens now is that when this light has been casted, it forms a shadow, and this is what we are seeing here. It forms a shadow directly in the opposite direction. Exactly what I said, in the opposite direction. Now this is the cast shadow. This is the reflected light here. Yes, and then we move to the next example. Now this is, oh wow, this is a wonderful cheesy pizza, lovely. And so who can tell me where this light shadow, this light source is actually coming from? Now it's really simple. You guessed it right here, of course. So this is where the light source is coming from, and you can see the light reflections on this part of this pizza. You can see the light source, you can see the highlights, and this part is not affected by the lights. So this is the part that is not affected by the lights, and now this is the shadow formed. So with this basic understanding of how shadow is formed, you can you can actually make realistic images, you can actually make realistic photo manipulation, because once you understand the concept behind this, you're actually good to go. I hope you really understand this, and I'll see you in the next lesson.